In a game where there are well over 1,000 champions that do seemingly well over 1,000 different things, it's incredibly hard to say this one is the best. But what we can have is favorites. So in today's video, I thought I would go over my personal favorite champion in this entire game. And it's actually an epic, which makes it somewhat easy to get. Let's do it. But guys, before we move ahead, just letting you know I've got a new player promo code. It is waiting for you in the pinned comment and description of this video. It's going to get you off to a solid head start with a free legendary and 3 free epics as you level up your account. Here's what you need to do. You'll want to log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall the game, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email address, launch raid, complete your tutorial, go to your inbox and claim your first free champion. Enter Deacon Armstrong. I just absolutely love this guy. Like I say, I pulled him incredibly early on and I still use him to this day. Let's go over his kit and work out what makes him so good. We're going to start with his aura. 19% speed in all battles. Now, if we consider that he has a base speed of 100, which is pretty damn good, this means that his base speed, so long as he's in the lead spot, is now 119. Proper solid. Let's move to the A1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Now this actually books up to 50%. Leech is kind of criminally underrated. If you can bring it into the team as a bit of a bonus like this guy does, you're just going to start to see your survivability go up a lot more. Even if you've got non-DPS champs in something like maybe like a War Master mastery, then you're actually going to find that these champs, every time they hit enemies that are under leech, are going to heal themselves by quite a significant amount. Solid skill. On to the A2. Attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Now this books up to 100% chance. So if you haven't got like a reliable debuffer, now you do. This is pretty much going to go out on all enemies, affinity dependent, providing you get your accuracy up. And this is just going to soften the enemy team up so that your team can just go in and hit them a lot harder. Finally, the A3, it fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%, then grants an extra turn. So what he's essentially doing is boosting your team, kneecapping the other team, and just allowing you to get a little bit further ahead, you know, if your stats aren't quite high enough for the stage that you're trying to do. So it's quite a simple kit, but it's actually bringing a lot of utility in it. At the end of the day, we've got a debuffer in his A2, we've got a bit of a healer in his A1, and we've got a booster in his A3. I'm going to quickly show the masteries that I run on him. Not saying this is the 100% the right way to do it. I just found that this works for me. So here we go. A lot of people will actually go down the offense tree and opt into getting something like War Master, but I just like using this guy for what I believe he really is, and that is a booster and a debuffer. So I focused as much as I could on accuracy, because in order to reduce enemy turn meter, you need accuracy. In order to place debuffs, you need accuracy. If you want to make sure that leech goes out, you need accuracy. It's just kind of the way I prefer to build his kit, and everything in here is basically just aimed at getting the most amount of stats out of him, because when it comes to any support or lead based champion, stats are kind of everything. You know, the more you've got, the better you're going to do. So it's quite a simple mastery setup. I kind of don't much care about the defense tree, but what I really wanted to make sure was that I got my extra 50 accuracy, as long as something like Law of Steel, just anything to boost those stats up. Now, when it comes to what relic to put on this guy, I actually opted with Journal of Necrotos, because ultimately it just makes his turn meter boosts 15% stronger. Anything that you can do to just get your team ahead of the enemy team, can't go wrong. I actually haven't even leveled up this relic because I have been slacking, so we're going to take that up now. And we're just going to gain a few stats along the way. Like I say, this is just stats, Shadow Legends. That's all that actually matters in this game. The more stats you've got, the better you're going to do. Nice and simple. So we're just going to leave that at level 9. He's now boosting the turn meter up quite a significant amount. As you'll see, I've already got mine empowered to level 4, and I actually bought the 6-star blessing for him because I actually think he is that good. At the end of the day, he's a debuffer and he's a turn meter booster, so all I would actually recommend you use on this guy is speed and accuracy, and then just chuck a bit of survivability onto him. He's not a damage dealer, so don't worry about 100% crit rate. Stop trying to squeeze damage out of him. That's not his role. If you make him damaged focused, he's just going to do less well at the things that he actually should be doing. So there is one set in this game that is absolutely made for this guy, and that is going to be Perception set. Accuracy plus 40, speed 5% on a 2 set. Now, so as to not make my build completely scary, I'm actually not going to fully build this guy because I kind of want to keep it on a bit more of a fair keel. Because if we look at the stats I've got on him already, I would actually argue minus the speed, this would be a really, really good baseline to actually build your Deacon to. So I'm just going to chuck a little bit of speed on him. Maybe I'll pop a 1 set of Perception on him. But if you're following along to this, just fill this guy's gear up with Perception. And when it comes to what gear to put on him, look for stuff like this. Double speed, very nice. HP, because you are going to want him to survive. And accuracy. Don't mind the crit damage, that just happens with rolls sometimes. Same again with something like this. You're just looking for HP, which is going to help you survive. You want accuracy and you want as much speed as possible. So here is what we have ended up with. I'll go straight to the stats screen. We're ultimately rocking at 274 speed, very, very solid for him, and we've got 371 accuracy. As he is now, this will do pretty much most content. You will probably see that I haven't put any accessories on him. That's just to kind of make the build a little bit more fair because he is empowered and he has got the 6-star blessing. But if you can't work out what to actually put on him as your accessories, just take a look at what your stats are lacking in and build accordingly. If you'd only had 150 accuracy right now, then maybe consider something like an accuracy banner. If you want to maybe roll him through Hydra or somewhere where he's going to get debuffed, maybe look at a resistance banner. If he keeps dying, chuck on a defense or an HP banner. Just build according to what you need. Luckily, this isn't a DPS champion, so you don't need to be too picky about how you're actually going to go about building him. So we're going to leave him as he is there. I think this is an incredibly solid baseline build for this champion. He will take you through pretty much all of the content. So let's actually chuck him in some content and see what he's capable of doing. Okay, so let's start with the dragon. I'm taking us into stage 6 because I'm not entirely sure this team would be able to do 10. It's quite a low level team in the grand scheme of things for quite a hard dungeon. We've got Deacon in the lead. Obviously he's bringing decreased defense, the leech, as well as the boosting. Very, very cool. I bought in Phoenix because block buffs, as well as his insane A1 smack. Tholin because he's just a great DPS. I bought in Skull Crown on the off chance we might place a bit of her Weaken on her A2, which is going to pair very nicely with decreased defense from Deacon. And I bought in Vrask because he's actually just such an underrated healer. So let's roll in and see what we can actually do with this team. Now, as you'll see, Deacon's the fastest, so he is going to be the first to go. Instead of starting with his A3, which is what the AI of the game will make you do, what I always suggest doing is actually opening with the A2, because I'm already fast enough. I don't need to worry about the enemies taking a turn just yet. So we'll cycle through our skills. We're going to chuck some Weakens out. We did get a few out. She's got very low accuracy, so it doesn't really matter. And then Tholin is going to just do a nice big hit. As you'll now see, Deacon is ready with his skill. So what we're actually going to now use is his A3. This is going to bring our team up, the enemy team down, and it just makes sure they won't get a turn. This is kind of critical for survival. So we'll do that. Also, it brings him closer to being able to use his A2 again next time. I'm going to rinse repeat this and I will see you at the boss. Okay, we've made it to the boss. Deacon once again opening with the A2, and that should get decreased defense out on the dragon. It resisted. That is a bit of a shame. Unfortunately, there is always going to be a 3% chance of resist. He's got plenty accuracy for this dungeon. So let's hopefully get some block buffs and we'll just start chipping away at the boss. Tholin's got the chance of Weaken, but again, he's got quite low accuracy. It didn't land that time either. Let's see if we can heal through all of this nastiness with Vrask, as well as, hopefully, the leech from Deacon. Leech is up. If you watch here, Phoenix with his A1 is pretty much going to re-heal himself right back to the top. Boom. That's a 40-something K heal. That's absolutely disgusting. Vrask is going to help pick us all back up. And once again, we are back to just smacking the boss. We've got Weaken on now, so that's really going to help. Once again, we're going to try for the decreased defense with Deacon. We did get it this time. So here we go with the A1 from Phoenix. Absolutely massive. And now it is just rinse, repeat, survive, survive, survive. And what I'll do is I'll just speed up to the end of this and we'll see us taking the boss down. So here we go. This should be the end of the dragon. It is. That leech was absolutely massive. As you can see, everyone got quite a chunk of healing into them. A lot of that was from Vrask, but actually the backup heals from Deacon, you just kind of can't go wrong. So where else can we use him? Let's try him in the Fire Knight. Now I've opted for stage 2 because I have no idea whether this team's going to quite be enough. We've only got one ally attacker. This is one of those dungeons you might actually want to consider bringing 2. Once again, we've got Deacon in the lead. We've got some kind of control and some debuffs from Stag Knight. He's also in a shield set, that might help. We've got Neldor because he places freeze, and that's how you get this guy's turn meter down. We've obviously got the ally attack, and why not bring Phoenix in just because he hits so hard. Once again, I'm going to follow the same kind of rules when it comes to the waves. I'm going to debuff first, rather than use his A3, because it just means when it comes back around, I can get ahead of the enemies again. I'm going to rinse repeat. I'm going to use the ally attack here because we'll definitely have it back by wave 3. And I'm going to chip away at these guys, and I'll see you at the boss. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to open with his A2 because obviously we can't quite debuff the boss just yet. I'm going to open with his A1 because it's a double hitter. Makes it even better for Fire Knight. Hopefully we can actually get this shield down in one go. I'm not entirely sure if we will. We might be all right. 4-hitter out from this guy here, Neldor. Very, very helpful. We'll get decreased speed on the boss. Very, very nice. And now we'll just start laying into him and hoping that he doesn't get a turn. So I'm looking at his turn meter, I'm looking at all of our turn meters. I'm not going to open with the A2 this time, I'm actually going to go with the A3. It gives us an extra turn anyway. Hopefully he'll get debuffed. Yep. Even more on him just to make our life a bit easier. And then hopefully we'll just freeze him and keep his turn meter down as much as possible. As many debuffs as we get out so that we can just start hitting him really, really hard. We've got the leech on now, so if we do get hit, we've got a bit of a safety net. But I think this is probably going to be just fine. The boss might get a turn, but that's fine. We can just rinse, repeat, and go through the same process again. We're going to put ourselves further into the turn meter like we are here. Debuff him again. Hopefully we can get him down. It might just be very, very close. What's going to happen? We'll see. Yep, just about. This guy is very, very, very versatile. Obviously, it's the team around him as well, but I've brought in my lesser geared champions just to kind of make this a little bit more fair. So I could show him probably in just about every bit of content that is along here. He's great in Minotaur. He's actually really handy in Ice Golem's Peak. You'll just have to keep him very protected. Spider, he'll work. Anything that you can do to drop the little spiderling turn meters and get yourself ahead is gonna be great. He will work in Shogun. He will work in Sand Devil. He'll work in Hydra. He will work just about anywhere. He'll even work as your arena speed lead. For so long in this game, this was the arena team I was using. I went with that kind of blending style composition where I would basically use him as the lead, 2 AoE nukers, and then something to maybe revive or stun in case it went wrong. Don't know if it's going to work against this team because they're very, very tanky, but the principle kind of remains the same. Doesn't matter if you don't win the speed race, we can just boost everyone up and reduce them, get them debuffed, and just sort of start laying into them with control and nukes, kind of as we're doing here. Got rid of their healer, got rid of all their support, and now all we've got to deal with is the Death Knight and the Wukong. Very, very, very cool team. Doesn't work every time, but it just served me for literally 4, maybe 5 years in this game until I started getting some better champions. He's an absolute monster. If you've got him, do not sleep on him. If he's sat in your vault and you don't know what to do with him, build him. He is your progression champion 101. He will serve you well. Please let me know in the comments if you've got this guy, or maybe if you've had him for years and actually that you still use him to this day. With things like Cursed City, I am constantly pulling this guy out of the vault and just making sure that he always gets put to work. Thank you so much for watching. Loads more videos coming later this week. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.